What's going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to kind of kill two birds with one stone. One, I'll just give you guys a 20-minute cardiovascular follow-along workout if you guys want to do that. Otherwise, you can jump down below and check out the timestamps where I'm going to go over how you can actually pick and choose certain exercises that are low impact and more like kind of traditional cardiovascular movements, low impact repetitive type movements that you can do using a total gym or sliding bench trainer. So saying that, jumping right into the first exercise is kind of this side lying single leg squat for 50 repetitions. I'll do this on this leg, then I'll switch to the other side. Now, a theme you'll see throughout all these exercises is that basically they're all very low impact. They all are somewhat repetitive and they're high rep range, but if you did any more than that, I think it just gets a little more uncomfortable. So I pick and chain different exercises that are kind of similar in this kind of similar vein here that work really well together, even though they might seem like they're working the same muscle group, same activity, that it doesn't seem like you're really giving it much a rest. But just by subtly kind of changing the positions, you actually go ahead and do that. Something to be mindful about as you're doing this. I mean, this was kind of like a moderate level of difficulty. I mean, like I said, it took me about 20 minutes. I'm kind of zoning out, counting in my head as I'm listening to something. You can make this harder if you want to push off and explode more off your foot, or being careful just to how you're actually decelerating. The point is, you can make this harder, but the main thing to kind of be careful about is being careful how you land. Since this is so repetitive, you're doing so many repetitions, there were times that I kind of just had to focus a little bit more about how I was pressing off and how I was decelerating and how I was kind of basically distributing the force on my muscles between all the muscles equally. So you'll notice in a lot of these exercises, I'm kind of pointing my toe and I'm kind of landing with the pointed toe, basically kind of utilizing my calves as kind of like an accelerator, decelerator as I'm kind of landing. I'm also being mindful that a lot of the grunt of the work is being distributed also through my glutes and my upper hamstrings. So not trying to rely too much on my quadriceps. There's definitely some leg dominance, as you'd find in a lot of other forms of cardiovascular activities like running or the elliptical or whatever. But I find more so with this that you're getting the benefit of definitely doing repetitive cardiovascular activity, but you're getting an added benefit of like a little bit, I don't want to say like toning, I don't want to say that word, but you're definitely working your leg musculature a lot more so than those previous forms of cardiovascular activity I mentioned, like using a treadmill or going out for a run. So I'm finishing up this one here. Again, 50 repetitions on this leg. You'll notice throughout this that the way I'm kind of landing might change my position a little bit. I found this definitely doable, but holding this position more than 50 repetitions might be a little tough, and you might find that 50 repetitions might be too hard for you. Or it might be easy for you. Maybe you want to do more than that. So definitely do more or less. You can mess with even the incline of the sled. That'll make a difference too. This one, now I only do this for one set because I forgot about it, but this is just facing up, doing this little kind of like just a little squat push off. Notice my form's different here. I'm actually landing a lot different than I would normally squat. I do change it a little bit, but I'm just more so focusing on a subtle little like land on my ankles, landing with my toes and then pushing off with my toes and my ankles. And even though my knees are kind of going past my ankles, it really isn't stressing my knees too much. I do start creeping up a little bit higher, but just a very easy, casual mini jump. I'm doing this for 50 repetitions here, and then we'll be starting another exercise coming up here shortly. But everything, I'm just reiterating the same kind of key points here, is that you want to choose and fine tune exercises that are very low impact, that you can do for repetitions, don't cause you a lot of stress, and you have to be very mindful throughout you're doing this just to kind of how you're distributing the force in your muscles, and definitely how you're landing on your feet and your ankles, because I know that can cause an issue, which is why I'm not taking these like big jumps and landing pretty hard. And that's a big thing that might cause discomfort in some people, especially people in older population that might be doing this type of exercise. All right, I'm finishing this up for 50 repetitions. Now I'm going to get up and basically do another leg exercise. You would think my legs are starting to get kind of like tired of being able to do this, but even though it's so similar, my right leg had a break for a second there, being isolated, that now I'm going right back into something similar we saw in the very first exercise, but now that we're laying face down, it's just a little bit different of position, so that I'm giving those muscles that were kind of supporting myself lying on my side a little more of a break, and now I'm kind of just by laying face down, allow myself to kind of give different muscles a break in my torso that kind of keep myself supported. So it is possible. Some people might view this as like, if you're doing cardio in the total gym, this seems kind of like maybe not really worth doing. Maybe just use a treadmill and go outside and go for a run. But I actually found this pretty fun. Honestly, I think I sold myself on doing this in this workout than I have in the past. I thought it possibly was possible to do something like this, but once I started doing this, I could definitely see myself doing this, zoning out to something, just the high rep range, and just doing this to kind of get the blood flowing if you want like a little off day. Also considering, like I said, that you're also getting a little mini added benefit of kind of working the legs through a low impact form of exercise and a low intensity form of exercise. Finishing up this the 50th repetition here, going to get ready to start on the other leg. I don't know if I'm fully getting 50 repetitions, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I was trying to count my best, but I was actually listening to something at the same time. And I know I mentioned it briefly, but I'm just going to stress this, that you really have to I focused a lot on my glutes as what was kind of absorbing this. So the upper part of my hamstrings, definitely my glutes were feeling a lot of this. I'll let this kind of play out. I'll jump back in with the start of the next exercise. All right, starting the next exercise here. I will do this next exercise for 2 more sets, unlike that face-up squat one that I kind of forgot about. But you don't have to raise this tower if you don't want to. You definitely could leave it where it was. You're just going to go ahead and sit upright. I'm going to do this for 100 repetitions. So basically 50, 50 each leg. I'm just counting to 100 on each step. That's what I'm doing, and I'm doing more like a kind of like a high knees type thing, kind of touching the sled, touching and going here. I found this, again, nice little supplement, nice little break from all the laying down and laying side lying. Having you sit up like this was definitely doable. Total Gym actually makes a squat stand that kind of gives yourself a little bit of a rebound. That's actually made for something just like this. If I can remember, I'll link that in the total. It's always linked in the Total Gym attachments link down below if you guys want to check that out. Later on, I do change my form up a little bit to kind of having my feet hit a little more central in the squat stand. You guys just do whatever works for you. But again, as I keep reiterating the fact, I'm trying to focus on really minimal hit, minimal shock to my feet, considering I'm going to do such a high amount of repetitions. All right, next now I'm going to do something that's kind of wanting to do something that incorporates the upper body, but still was easy enough to allow me to do like a high rep range. I lowered the tower height. You definitely could keep it a little bit higher if you wanted to. I would call this one more like kind of like a swim move. I'm going to be using my lower body, but then I'm finishing off with like kind of my lats as well. So again, I kind of look at this almost like kind of like a swim, basically like you're kind of like a butterfly type of swim move. Using my lats definitely kind of helped me, but definitely got that initial push from my legs. And I found this also to be, I don't know how this looks to you guys, but to me it looks a little like different and awkward to do such a high repetition range for this type of modality like a Total Gym. But I actually found it, I found it to be pretty good. I mean, to me it's no different than, again, the repetitive stress you get from running, and the added benefit of kind of using a variety of different body parts and switching things up on the fly like this. I thought were pretty good. So 50 repetitions here. Later on in the second and third sets, you'll see me kind of keep the tower height a little bit higher. I probably, in retrospect, next time I do this exercise, I would keep it a little bit higher. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to finish up this 50th rep coming up here, and then I'm going to start that whole sequence over again for 2 more sets. Should take you about 20, like I said, 20-ish minutes. You could certainly do more or less if you guys wanted to. And I just was more like an intro to these types of workouts. I already have a cardio playlist, and I'll throw this on there. But in the future, I'll make some more workouts that are like this, or at least give you guys some more cardiovascular ideas or exercises that you can do that you could kind of mix and match together to make your own form of repetitive, low-impact cardiovascular activity on a Total Gym or starting bench trainer. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching.